This content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no
a
one.
second.
Oh, no.
We return to our planet. The High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world.
I'd buy that for $1.
Merry Christmas! Not Santa Claus this year. If you go far enough in the channel's past, I have acted as Santa Claus for the channel. But this is the last of the Unusual Christmas Chronicles. You're looking for something fun to watch on Christmas Day. I've actually got a pretty easy one for you because this one's still fairly widely available and kinda known. There are aspects of this that are still in the modern lexicon, but a lot of times you just don't see it. And that is the 1944 film Meet Me in St. Louis. I mean, you got freaking Judy Garland in this. Now, this is the Digibook. Again, I don't know if this is still in print or not, but it is pretty cool. It's got some cool special features. It's got a CD soundtrack, which for a musical, that's a must. And it also has, an introduction by Liza Minnelli, so her daughter, for those of you who don't know, who is still alive, barely, but still alive. And of course we have the radio broadcast, music-only audio track, and we have a commentary by a Garland biographer. So, Judy Garland was about 22 when this came on. I'm sure she had some issues going on because her life was tragic. But as far as things go with this, a lot of cool things. We have the whole thing about it is it's this family, this kind of eccentric family that's living in St. Louis, and they're trying to find love and live and all that stuff, and the father ends up getting this job in New York, which is brought up about halfway through the movie, and that's horrible, but eventually love wins at the end of the day. Now this is an unusual film, to say the least. This family is eccentric. This family has Adam's family level of eccentricity, and that's what really makes it stand out. I mean, it's 1944. This little girl is talking about burying people. The Halloween section of this film alone, this goes through like a year worth of time. The Halloween section of the film alone is weird. I mean, they got the kids that are taking people's furniture, they're burning it, they're throwing flour in people's faces, telling them about they hate them. They are trying to derail a trolley and commit mass murder. This is all true. This is all going on in this thing. These kids are feral.
Nothing. It was that old dress we found. We stuffed it.
It looked just like a body, a live body, too.
We put it on the track. We thought when the motorman put on the brakes, the streetcar would go off the track.
Agnes Smith, you're nothing less than a murderer. You might have killed dozens of people.
Oh, Rose, you're so stuck up.
As heck. But we do have some pretty... And the family itself is very eccentric. Even Garland's character herself. And you check it out. There's a lot of singing, a lot of dancing, a lot of good numbers in it. The acting is spectacular. The singing is spectacular. The set design, costume design, beautiful. The color pops in Blu-ray. This is a good example of, yes, an old film can benefit from the Blu-ray treatment if they're cleaned up correctly. This was cleaned up beautifully. It looks like it was filmed today. That's how awesome it was. You can see the shine in Garland's hair. It's just amazing. But yes, this soundtrack is oddly enough pretty well known, even if you don't realize it's from that movie. Meet Me in St. Louis is
Meet me in St. Louis, Louis. I'll be out in a minute, Agnes.
All right,
Meet me at the fair.
actually a song that is sung a lot throughout this, and some of you might know that if you're old enough. And a lot of you from my generation have heard the clang clang, the trolley song, like clang 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 went the trolley, ring 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 went the bell, you know.
Chug, chug, chug went the motor. Bump, bump, bump went the brake.
I mean, you may have heard it. I can't guarantee you may have heard it. But there is one song on here that I know you've heard, and that's Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. The Judy Garland version of this song is out there. It's been out there since this film and maintains out there.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
This song was first performed in this film. So much like White Christmas, the White Christmas was first performed in Holiday Inn. It was written right before that. Same thing here. That song was written right before this. It was first performed here, though. And amazing, amazing stuff. But the song, the context is extremely dark. Extremely, extremely depressing at the time. Because she's talking to this girl and she feels like she's lost everything. So, if you haven't checked this out, you really should. Especially if you like those types of things. You got kind of a dark sense of humor. You could get some enjoyment out of it. It's a little bit dry, but the musicals of that time were. But it's unusual enough that, in my opinion, you can do worse than to share your holidays with this film. Merry Christmas, and maybe we'll come back next year with more Unusual Christmas Chronicles.